Hi, everybody. Michael Silver here, Event Director for Enlit Australia, with our continuing series of discussions with business leaders in the industry. Today, I'm really thrilled to have with us Glenn Wood, who's the head of telecommunications for TransGrid. Welcome, Glenn.
Hello, Michael. Good to be with you.
Yeah, really happy to have you. Hey, you know, one of the areas that really fascinates me are companies like yours, network companies getting involved or in businesses that are businesses that haven't been involved in the past, and certainly you as head of telecommunications are in one of those what I consider cutting edge areas. Obviously, TransGrid operates a high voltage network, power network in New South Wales, now moving into telecommunications. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting history, Michael. So back in 2015, the Baird government sold TransGrid for $10.3 billion. And at the time, their shareholders had identified that we have a lot of rich assets in our fibre network and also in our co-location business. We have towers and our communication. So I was recruited to build a telecommunications business. So the first step was to go out there, and I was successful in recruiting a number of senior executives across from Telstra and Optus and Broadcast Australia, to name a few organisations. So we had the right people in the right positions within the organisation. Then we looked at our network, and whilst we've got one of the largest fibre networks in Australia, predominantly within New South Wales, stretching out into the rural regional areas, it was important that we had a carrier grade network. So we went out to tender, and we eventually selected Nokia as our vendor partner for our carrier Ethernet network. We've also recently selected Ciena as our backbone provider and partner. So that was core to building out our data network and building, then once we had the network, we could build the products and services on top of that. We have two business units within our telecommunications business. So we have our data services, and then we have our wireless co-location services. So we have over 37,000 high voltage towers within New South Wales, and we also have over 130 communication towers. With our data network as well, once we rolled out the Nokia equipment for our carrier Ethernet MPLS network, we've also had that designed and certified to the Metro Ethernet Forum, the MEF standard, and that's to the 3.0 standard. So we have been the first carrier in Australia and New Zealand to have our carrier Ethernet network certified to the MEF 3.0 standard. So quite an achievement by the team.
Yeah, it really is. Can you give us some more detail on the actual services you provide, the telecommunications services you provide?
Yeah, sure. We provide services. We target the wholesale, enterprise, government, and the renewable energy market, and I'll touch on that a little bit later on. So the products that we sell on the data side is our internet, Ethernet, wavelength, and some fibre services. We're also on our wireless co-location business. We essentially call that vertical real estate. So we're leasing space on our towers, and we provide that to the mobile carriers, Optus, Telstra and Vodafone, but also the key New South Wales government agencies like the Telco Authority, police and ambulance, so those emergency services. With our data network as well, we've also built out fibre directly to the key NBN POIs, the points of interconnect within New South Wales, ACT and Victoria. And we're also onboarded with NBN for their enterprise Ethernet service. So that's the core sort of product portfolio that we currently have.
So TransGrid has always had a reputation as being a customer-focused company. So how have you worked to find the best telecommunications solutions for your customers?
Look, that's a great question. Look, we have always invested into the New South Wales communities, into the rural and regional areas, And now we're essentially opening up our telecommunications business to bridge the digital divide into those areas. We've gone out to those areas and we've said to the businesses and councils and local governments and communities in those areas to say, what are their pain points? What are they struggling with? And two things that have been a common theme that we get told time and time again, and that is, one is the internet connectivity and also the mobile coverage. So mobile black spots is a real issue. So we're opening up our network to those communities now. A couple of examples. For example, we've built fibre. We went to the Bowman area, we built fibre into that street, and we're providing high-speed internet connectivity to local businesses and council in that area. We've also done a similar project within Forbes where we built fibre from our substation out to a local retail service provider who is then on-selling our services into the local community and businesses. So we're providing them with that high-speed internet connectivity. And with COVID, it's really emphasised and highlighted the need for telecommunications and good data services and internet services with the e-commerce, with e-learning, e-health, e-agriculture and so on. That's really important to these communities as people are working online and doing business online. So we believe that we're playing a key role in supporting those communities for their internet connectivity, and the feedback that we're getting from our customers is that absolutely delighted with our service.
That's great. You mentioned supporting the rural communities. In addition to your services, is there any other types of support you give these communities, or is it strictly with the products you provide?
No, we also provide community sponsorship and grants for a lot of the communities in those areas. So
TransGrid also is playing a key role in the renewable energy projects, which are obviously help to reduce the carbon footprint. Can you tell me a little bit more about how the telecommunications business is operating in this area?
Yeah, I believe that with a renewable energy project, it requires three core things it requires. So we're talking wind farms and solar farms. They require land, they require power, and they require telecommunications services. And this is part of our unique value proposition at TransGrid, where we're able to provide that as a bundled service. So it's quite a unique offering in the market. And now we are the largest provider of telecommunications services to renewable energy projects in Australia. So for those projects, not only are we the #1 telecommunications provider, but also in those renewable energy zones, which is another initiative from the government as well. We're looking at how we can also add value back into the local communities and businesses that are around those renewable energy zones. So we've currently kicked off a project for mobile black spot, where we're looking and partnering with one of our wind farm customers to put a mobile tower on the actual location where the wind farm is located, because that will then give us the coverage for mobile black spot. Now, if that's successful, and we're working with one of the New South Wales government agencies in partnership on this project, this is a pilot site, and so we're very excited about what that will provide in terms of improving the mobile coverage in those renewables energy zones. The pilot program is going to be in the Dubbo area. And so that's one of the, if you know, the Central West Orana area, that's one of the renewable energy zones. If that's successful, then we believe that we'll have the blueprint to take that out into other renewable energy zones.
That's fantastic. Well, Glenn, I want to thank you for your time. This is really interesting stuff, what's happening in the telecommunications area. I wanted to thank you for being a platinum sponsor at our live event, which we think is going to be an exciting and vibrant time as we emerge from the pandemic. So again, thanks for your time, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, Michael. All the best.